shot. I was thinking about the bird in your hand and you know, having to make a decision between two things. And I was thinking it's really a gift when you don't have a bird in the hand. And when I was growing up, I won't do this to anybody. It was just bad, okay? Bad. Difficult, bad, run-of-the-mill, little violence, you know, all kinds of problems. And I pretty much knew, like, by 3rd grade, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get out of here. That was my whole goal, was to get out of here. And it was easy. There was no choice. I mean, it was easy, and I didn't have parents. Like, once I hit the road, I didn't have parents worried about me or tell me what to do, or I should settle down, I should have children, or I didn't have that. So it was a gift, really. So I'll tell you a little bit about how that went. I think my first vision was my neighbors in this little town. The railroad tracks were back at their place, and I watched that train going by every day, and I'm going to get on that train. I'm going to get on that train. I was just imagining, okay, I'm going to grab a hold of that bird, make sure I don't get my toes cut off, and I'm just going to get on that thing, and I'm going to go to Chicago. And here I grew up in a town of 700 people, and I'd never been past South Beloit in my whole life. But I could hear on the radio, I'd listen to WLS in Chicago, and I'd hear them talk about Chicago, the windy city. Like, I think of kind of this little teeny apartment way up somewhere, and I could look over at all the lights and everything. I thought, I'm going to get on that train, and I'm going to go down there. You know, here I was, 9 years old. I don't know what I'm going to eat. And I didn't actually get on the train. Only because, not because I had a bird in my hand. No, I did have a bird. There was a reason. Because I would have got my ass kicked if I would have done it. I got my ass kicked anyway, but it would have been much worse. And so I kept waiting though, and I kept watching. And then the day I turned 16, I got a waitress job. And about 3 days later, I moved out, and I rented a room in this really shitty place with cracks all over the walls. I kind of stayed on this couch of this single mom, and I just give her a little cash and stuff. And I worked probably the worst jobs there are: nursing home, waitress, cleaning toilets, all those kind of jobs. And then one day, a friend of mine said, why don't you go to college? How do you do that? I don't know how to do that. How do you do that, Oh, my brother would. You just call them up, and they'll send you a lot of paperwork, and you send it back, and then you just go. And this girl was like my little sister across the street, and she didn't really know how it all went either. She just watched her older brother get all this paperwork and send it out, and he went, So, thinking, that's brilliant. So I did it, and it worked. So I show up at this little college, and I'd never been there before, and I didn't know what a dorm was and all this stuff, but it didn't matter because I had no bird, but there were lots of birds in the trees. That's what I saw. And like the sidewalk that would wind down with those big trees and all the acorns and the sunlight. And I thought, oh, man, this is it, So I studied art for quite a while until I realized that I would need a job. And then my roommate, she said, what are you going to do this summer? Are you going to stay with your folks? I'm like, no, I don't know. No, I don't do that, She goes, hey, I seen the paper, you can go to Colorado. I mean, we can work out there for the summer. I'm there. So we get in this old car and we go. And we work out in Vail, which I didn't know what Vail was. In this little hick from this little town. And all these rich people and skiers, but I didn't care. I was in the mountains and I climbed by myself and put tents up and see the moon. And I'm in the Rocky Mountains. Look at all these birds in the bush, there's like millions of them. And one day I was late for work, had to be there at 6 a.m., stuck my thumb out, First car stops. That is freaking brilliant. They stopped. I can go anywhere like this. And I went thousands and thousands of miles all over the United States and Canada and Europe and England, and I lived in England and Alaska and did all these things. There were lots of birds, and I'm glad I didn't have anything holding me back. But at a certain point, I wanted a bird. I wanted a nice little bird. A garden and a dog. I found my bird. He's right there. And it's 15 years later, and I'm not going anywhere.
All right.